What's up everyone? You might notice that the video is a lot smoother. It's because I got a new camera, so no more jumping and bumping and bumbling, just smooth, buttery smooth video. Except for that bird or whatever. Shut up! Alright, so today I want to talk about kind of a personal topic, but it's something that I get asked quite a bit. Why I have chosen to stay natural. Now, I actually gotten accusations of steroids. I'm on like Natty or Not or some Reddit threads. And honestly, this is just flattering. I'm a little bit flattered, and I think if you're natural and you're getting steroid accusations, you're doing something right. But there are reasons that I've stayed natural. I'm not sure if that'll pertain to the future, but as of right now, March 2020, I am 100% natural. So the first reason that I've stayed natural is the opportunity. Now this might seem a little bit weird, but there's really not that much opportunity in China to take steroids. I've been offered them once by a friend who I used to work out with. But apart from that, I don't know anyone on steroids. I only know one person on steroids. If that's, if you're in the gym in the US or in the UK, I would say that's probably not the case. If you're a serious gym goer, you probably know at least a few people who take them. And you've probably seen them or been offered them, a few times if you've been going to the gym for a while and if you're serious about it. That's just, from what I've seen, what I've heard, accounts from people who go to the gym in that country or in those countries. As humans, we tend to compare ourselves to other people. If I'm the biggest person in my gym and I'm the biggest person that I see walking around, honestly, I don't think, oh, I want to gain 10 kilos or 20 kilos. Whereas if you're in the US and if you're my size, you're probably like average, just because steroids do help that much. And because, your concept of what is big or what is muscular changes naturally just due to what you see. And it's human nature to really compare ourselves to other people. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, it's just how we work as people. Another factor is that I just don't feel the need to, honestly. I'm still progressing, I'm still gaining muscle, maybe not right now because of this coronavirus thing, but in general, I'm still making very good progress in the gym week to week and month to month. So I don't really see the need to take them. Maybe in like 3, 4, 5 years, when I really plateau hard, then I might consider it. But until then, it's really not something that I see as necessary or even a good choice. I think most people take them too early. And if you ask most people who take steroids, a lot of them say, I should have waited longer. You should be training at least 5 years, maybe 10. Just because from what I've heard, it'll be much more effective when you do take them. So if you train for 10 years naturally, and then you hop on a cycle, it'll be much more effective because your body is waiting to grow. Whereas if you take them really too soon, you don't know about training, you don't know about diet, you don't know about these basic things, so why would you add steroids on top of that? It just doesn't really make sense. Another factor is that it's really not my only goal. Like, I enjoy gaining muscle and it is one of my primary goals, but I also want to be able to do other things that might not be optimal with steroids. They really do make you bulk up, and if you don't monitor yourself, it's easy to lose endurance, it's easy to lose your flexibility, your mobility, your explosiveness, and these are all things that I care about, and I think most people should care about. And so for me, just snapping my fingers and gaining 10 kilos of muscle might not be the best call. Another big one is going to be health. I mean, this is huge. Anytime you manipulate your hormones, you are taking a risk. If you take pills, if you inject something, it's going to have a potentially long-term effect. Certainly it's going to have a short-term effect. I don't particularly want acne. I don't really want hair loss. I don't want to have heart, kidney, liver problems. I would like my blood work to be healthy, to be normal. I don't really want water retention. I don't really want inflammation. All of these factors for me makes it a pretty clear choice. 10 kilos of muscle on one hand, or all these other factors. To me, it's just a no-brainer at this point. Muscle is good, muscle is cool, but is it worth all those other factors? Probably not. I mean, I'd like to keep my balls the size that they are rather than shrink into, raisins. No, thank you. Now, that being said, I totally get the temptation to take steroids, especially if you're in that environment. If you are competing, I mean, can you imagine being natural and then going to like a physique competition and working your ass off and having good genetics and just placing last by people who don't work as hard as you and people who, just took the easy road, and just popping this pill could make you so much better, I mean, that's got to be a really tough decision. For me, it's easy because my comparison is not to that. It's just my decision, it's just me. But for other people, I totally understand how it's a lot more complex. Another factor is that I don't really want to get that big. Like, I don't want to be 120, 130, 140 kilos. To me, that just seems horrifying. Like, already when I was 96 kilos, it was too much. I mean, when I was doing rows, my lat would chafe against my bicep and stuff like that. I can't even imagine an extra 20 or 30 kilos of muscle. That's like 50 or 60 or more chicken breasts strapped to my body. I mean, no thanks. Another thing to keep in mind is that once you start, you sort of have to keep going. If you just take steroids and then you stop, you're gonna get some muscle, you're gonna lose your muscle, and then why? Like, why did you bother? There's no real point. Once you start, you sort of have to keep going. Plus, the more you do it, it's like coffee or caffeine. You get less sensitive to the dose over time. So you actually have to increase the dose over time, or you have to cycle it. It's just another thing to keep track of. And the more you take, the more health effects you get. So I think for most people, not a great choice. Now, I don't think it's a moral decision. Steroids aren't good, they aren't bad, they're just a thing. They can be used for good, they can be used for bad. That being said, lying about it is definitely not good. And I think it is very common. People who use them and then claim to be natural. I don't know how many hundreds and thousands of people, but there are a lot of people who use, whether it's steroids or SARMs or growth hormone or insulin or something else, and then just lie about it. And then use it to sell programs or get followers or whatever. I mean, that's just despicable, horrible, horrendous. That should be illegal, really. That being said, if I do start to use, I will be quite honest and open about it. I will at the very least hint about it, very, very obviously. I might not say outright, because it is illegal in some countries and that would just be stupid, but I will be, you'll know, like I'll tell you basically. I remember Callum von Moger, the Australian bodybuilder, I think he's Australian. Anyway, someone asked him like, oh, you're getting bigger and then you're getting smaller, like why are you going up and down so much? You're gaining strength right now. And he just said like, I'm back on the bicycle, I'm riding my bicycle again. And I mean, I had so much respect for that, just because he didn't lie. He didn't say like, oh, I've been eating more chicken or some BS, or I've been training harder. He was just obvious about it, open about it, honest about it. And I think, that's a great thing. And the sport and the community and the culture needs more of that. People who are just, honest about it. Why can't that be the norm? All right, that is all for today. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.